This last week has kind of forced me to realize a few things about myself that I have maybe been avoiding lately. I don't know about you, but being taken advantage of is one thing that I do not stand by anymore. I used to be a people pleaser back in the day. I quickly realized that does not get you anywhere. I'm going to talk about a quick scenario that just happened with my brother. Odds of him ever seeing this are slim to none, but if he does, they went to Florida this past week. I was asked to go let the dogs out middle of the day. Sure, whatever, I'm home. I don't have a full-time job right now. I have some time in my schedule, you're only 5 minutes down the road. I don't ask for much. I just want clear communication. Really all I ask for. And when I go away places or somebody else is taking care of my animal, I always make sure that everything is set and ready to go before I even leave for my trip. So what I mean by that is I should have known what time of day I was needed to go. Lunchtime for you might be different for me. Knowing which days and what exact time frame I was needed would have been helpful. I also don't have a key. I texted him, I think, the night before they left. He was trying to figure out what to do for a key and still couldn't tell me exactly which days and times I was needed to go. Very frustrating. I am so clear cut down to the hour measurement with my animals and instruction wise when it comes to people taking care of them. I have everything planned out, measured out, labeled, whatever. Everything is set and ready to go. I just don't understand how some people can just be that way. My brother doesn't really text any of us back ever. I was trying to figure out when I was needed and I texted him on Wednesday. I had to bring my bird to the vet. That is about an hour away somewhere in Connecticut. His beak and his nails trimmed. It's somewhere where we go every couple months. It's just a routine thing. So I had my morning planned out because we had to be there for 10 o'clock. So I had to leave at a certain time. I made sure to get up at 5:30, get in the shower for 6 so that I could be at my brother's house to let the dogs out, or I fed the horses and finished getting ready myself and headed to Connecticut. Did all that. I got to my brother's house. Shelby's parents were there taking care of the dogs. In that moment, I just got so frustrated because I had rearranged my whole schedule that day to make sure that I could get there for the dogs. Then and lunchtime, I texted my brother and I said, this is ridiculous. The communication needs to be better. This should have been discussed. We should have had this figured out. And he texted me back and said that the kids were sick. They were going to come home. They haven't been talking to anyone, which I get it, but that's not what I meant by communication. What I mean by communication is I should have known what I needed to know ahead of time. I should have known what days and what times I was needed there, and I should have had a key. Everything should have been figured out. It just kind of made me feel like my time is just not valued at all. Just because I don't have a full-time job, it sucks not feeling appreciated. Being easygoing can turn into being taken advantage of. Be careful. I always thought that I was just being helpful, and it kind of felt nice to be needed, but sometimes it's not worth it. It's less about this one situation with my brother and everything that's going on with us as a whole, because that's a whole nother story for another time. It's just one thing after another, and this one tiny little thing didn't have to be as big as I made it. But me, it was big because all of these other little things that have added up that I haven't said anything about. You know how it is. I don't want to start problems, but it starts to get to a point where it becomes unfair. I really hate confrontation, but I'm starting to hate how I feel when I don't say anything even more. It's really unfortunate, but we have trained people to expect certain things from us. Now we are realizing that we don't actually like the role that we've taught them to believe. But one thing is for sure, my time and my energy are valuable and they are important. And just because I'm kind does not mean that I'm available 24/7. We are allowed to have expectations as to how we want people to treat us. I am going to start working on not automatically saying yes when somebody asks me to do something for them. And I'm going to start sitting with the discomfort that comes with having to set those boundaries. It really sucks feeling like you're being mean or having to be difficult. Life, I guess, right? Protecting your peace and your time does not make you selfish. And don't forget, respect goes both ways. You can be a good person and still have boundaries. So it's been a little bit now since I had my miscarriage. I don't think about it often as I thought that I would. I guess there is no real amount of time that's accurate to depict that. I'm not where I was a couple weeks ago, and I feel like I'm not fully okay yet, but I'm definitely getting there. The mornings have gotten a lot easier. It's a lot easier getting up and getting going. One thing that still has not gotten easier for me is the motivation and will the desire to do things. Life is just so overwhelming and it's a lot. I saw the other day somebody else that I know had a miscarriage and she was a little bit further along. So my heart goes out to her. I'm definitely in that in-between phase. I still don't really know how to feel about it exactly and how to fully process it, but every day's a work in progress, I guess. Grief doesn't ever leave. It just shows up differently depending on the day. Honestly, for me, being able to talk in front of the camera and post videos on the internet talking about miscarriages and what I went through has helped me with my healing process tremendously. I never used to be able to do things like this to people, tell them about my feelings or what I was going through. I've realized that by seeing other creators on the internet talk about their experiences and what they've gone through and it being able to be relatable in some way is really what I enjoy, being able to talk about my experiences on the internet, just like all these other creators that I've seen do. It really just opens your eyes to show that you can be a role model for somebody else who's really struggling or somebody that doesn't have the support system that I might have had or somebody else might have had. Miscarriages are real and they are a lot mentally and emotionally and physically. It's a lot to go through and a lot of people just dismiss it and brush it under the rug and act like it's not a major loss, but it is. It's a major loss. On the contrary, I talked about it in one of my other videos that one of the feelings that you can feel when you have a miscarriage is relief. That is something that has been sitting with me a lot lately, is relief of the fact that things happened the way that they did. Sad as it is that we were pregnant and we no longer are, I am grateful that we get to experience this first part of moving and buying a house before having a baby instead of having to do all of it together, because I just think that my body could not physically handle that at the moment or mentally, whatever. It's a lot to do. If we had never found out that we were pregnant, we would have never ever decided that it was time to move to a different state. Everything happens for a reason. Truly does. And it's very weird to feel relieved that something like this happened. If there's other women out there that know what I'm talking about or have experienced this same sort of relief, just know that you're not alone, and I know what it feels like. I'm almost like disappointed in myself that I'm relieved about it, because I shouldn't be disappointed because like I said, it's a terrible, tragic loss to go through, but I was not in a good place, and I always said that this was the worst possible thing that could happen to me while I was living at home. It happened. So one recent moment that I had, I was still processing all of this, processing the miscarriage and all that, was we were talking in February for John's birthday about how these were going to be our last birthdays as not having a baby. I was pregnant for his birthday in February, and unfortunately I am not pregnant now, and my birthday is this weekend. So it was those thoughts creep in from time to time. It stinks. I have a drawer full of stuff that we'd already gotten that I need back in a box still. Outside with the farrier all morning on Tuesday, holding the horses. Farrier is the person that comes and trims your horse's feet, and horses' feet grow like how human fingernails grow, so they have to be clipped essentially and filed, and sometimes they get shoes put on. Everybody did great. I'm really getting sad at the fact that she's not going to be my farrier anymore once we move. I've had the same farrier, for the last probably like almost at least between 10 and 15, I would say. I've known her before she had all her babies, so it's bittersweet that we're moving, but we'll stay in touch. It's always great when she comes over. It usually takes about 3 hours for us to get through everybody. My 2 donkeys used to have to be sedated when I first brought them home, and now we are at a point where neither one of them has to. It's amazing. Again, also bittersweet that we're leaving my farrier that worked so hard with them. Get them to this point. I came in the house and I was sitting down and I was doing something on my phone, and I saw out of the corner of my eye something outside the window. So I look and I see this big ass turkey walking by. So I'm watching it, doing something. So I get up and I go over to the door, and it was looking at itself in the stainless steel bumper. So it's kind of like a mirror image, stainless steel. The turkey was looking at itself in the stainless steel bumper, and it was pecking at itself in the bumper. So I started recording, obviously. I can't believe I got it on video. The little things in life. I gave Apple Pie a bath yesterday, and it was really good in the tub, but not so much for the dryer. It can be a little devil sometimes, and she was not a fan of it yesterday. To be a dog groomer, so when we move, I am planning on having my own little dog grooming station at the house, at least for my dogs, and then eventually I do want to maybe do dogs part-time, a couple dogs here and there during the week, extra income, why not? We also sold the camper last week. Very, very, very bittersweet end to a very fun chapter of our lives. That was like the last big thing that we had to get rid of to catch up money-wise, catch up on bills, and try and get things sorted out before John moves and get our credit scores up so that we can buy a house sooner than later. Very bittersweet. We actually sold it to another couple that's moving cross country too, and they need to live in something for a little while their house is getting renovated. It's nice that we were able to get it to somebody that can use it for something good. And we do plan on getting another camper someday. We fell in love with one at the camping show this year at the biggie, we decided we want to buy a house instead of financing a new camper. Once we're settled at the new house and all of that, eventually when we do need a vacation, but I don't foresee us needing a vacation from our new lives in our new home for a while, we will get a new camper, and I'm excited for that day too, and all the new camping places we're going to be able to go to. We also took the dogs to get ice cream the other night, and they just absolutely love it. It's just such a nice little thing that I like to do for them. I got a brownie sundae. Oh my god, it was so good. The best. Like I said earlier on in this video, I had to bring my bird to the vet on Wednesday to get his beak and his nails trimmed. He is a Amazon parrot, 32 this weekend as well, which is crazy to say. The vet still says that he's overweight and he needs to get exercise more, so I need to bring him out of his cage more and walking around and flapping his wings like out in the living room, or he likes to stay in his cage. He likes to be a perch potato, as the vet says, which is hilarious because he really is a perch potato. I also finished a very special project. I'm so excited to share it, but probably won't be till next week. I have a meeting on Monday to finish the final touches. I'm over the moon. This has been a dream of mine for a very long time. Being able to accomplish something like this by myself is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And the ideas that I have next, be ready for it. This page isn't perfect by any means. I'm not a perfect person, but if you can relate with anything that I talk about, you should subscribe and follow along on our journey in this so-called crazy life. I think for a long time, I was so focused on trying to keep the peace with people that I was ignoring how things actually made me feel. And I'm sure a lot of us do that too. I've also been realizing that just because I'm a good person doesn't mean that I have to give everyone my all the time. I don't always have to be on all the time. There is a big difference between being kind and being taken advantage of. I am unfortunately still trying to figure out where I cross that line. I also think that going through everything that I have been through recently has changed me in ways that I'm still trying to process and understand myself. The grief turned relief, but it's still sad. It still hurts. It's a very weird feeling to feel. And you know, this grief, it's heavy. It's not just something that goes away. It's something that you will always carry with you, even on those days where you might feel okay. It's such a strange place to be, that in between healing, growing, and setting boundaries all at the same time. I think that's just all in part of finding ourselves and growing up and, I don't know, finding our place in this world. If any of this felt familiar, just know you're not alone and you belong here too. You're not the only one going through it, but you can stick around if you want to figure it out together. I'll be back next week with another life update.